Good Monday morning. And yes, I know it's Tuesday, but I'll explain that in just a minute. This is Monday Matters. Every Monday, I take just a few minutes to share a thought. I apologize every single week. It's not that I think my thoughts are so important. It's just this is what I think I'm supposed to do. So I had a birthday this weekend, Saturday. It was the beginning of the 69th year for me and the end of the 68th year. 68 was a horrible year. It was awful. Shortly after I turned 68 last year, Sammy, my stepfather, passed away. Kind of the stress of that, I think I developed shingles in my face and eye. It's still going on. It's been 11 months and it's still going on. It's not nearly as bad. And then a week before I turned 69, I got COVID and spent this whole weekend, spent my birthday sick with COVID. So 68 is done. I am just done with 68 and I'm excited to be 69 in more ways than one, just to have survived. Used to say all the time, I don't feel 65. I don't feel 66. I feel 82 right now. There's a time where your body says, I don't care how you feel, you're old, and I'm going to let you know that. So that's why, all of that to say, that's why we're doing Monday Matters on Tuesday. I am in the last day. Today is the last day of isolation. I feel so much better. I can go out in public tomorrow, but have to wear a mask for 5 days. So those of you who have had that, you understand that experience. And those of you that haven't, I hope you get it, because I'm just kidding. I don't. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, not about COVID, but I want to talk about getting old, aging. That was kind of the theme for the week that I had in mind to share with you. And I began posting yesterday. Every day on Instagram, I post just a little thought about aging. And I want to talk to you about aging. We talk about growing old gracefully, and some of us do that, and some of us grow old begrudgingly, but one way or the other, we still grow old. There's some things that happen, I think, as we grow old. There's some interesting things that take place that cause us to begin to respond to the world in a different way. One of the things, when we grow old, we have a little more time. Things slow down. We have more time, and sometimes it's time to sit around and think about us, think about ourselves. In this past week with COVID, every little new cough or every little illness or every little ache that would come up, I just had time to dwell on that, to think about that. And that can cause us, if we're not careful, it can cause us to become selfish, to become self-centered, to just be thinking about ourselves. And I think rather than being selfish, I want to be self-aware. I want to know who I am and where I am and what I have to offer. And if I am coming across begrudgingly, I want to know that and be able to change that and address that. So I want to be self-aware rather than selfish, because I can get selfish with the extra time that I have. The second thing is, when we grow older, we've had a long history of, let's face it, of bad experiences. We've seen a lot of things go wrong. We've had a lot of prayers go unanswered or not answered the way that we thought. We've had a lot of disappointments, a lot of rejection. And so it's a old cliche, but as we grow old, we can get bitter or we can get better. We can allow this accumulation of negative events to make us bitter, to make us not fun to be with, to make us grouchy old men and grouchy old women. And I don't want to do that. I want to be better, not bitter. I want to allow those experiences to be something that I can use for good, that God can use for good, to present them in a positive way. So we have more time, and that can allow us to be selfish, but I want to be self-aware. We've had some negative experiences that can cause us to be bitter, but I want to be better. And then the last thing that happens, or another thing that happens as we grow old, is we begin to recognize that we don't matter. I tell Doris all the time as we watch television, I say, the only thing on television that applies to us anymore are ED commercials and CVS pharmacy commercials. That's the only thing that has old people in mind. Everything else is for a different generation. We don't matter as much anymore. There's a recognition of that. And that can cause us to begin to feel useless, hopeless, pointless. I don't want to do that. I want to have purpose. I want to have passion in my old age. So I have more time. It can make me selfish. I want to be self-aware. I am more aware of negative experiences. It can make me bitter. I want to be better. I am more cognizant of the fact that I don't matter like I once did. That can make me feel pointless. I want to feel impassioned. So how do we grow old gracefully? Here's 3 things I want to share very quickly that I'm kind of attempting to do. And by the way, anything that I say on here, I hope you understand. It's a work in progress for me. I'm not suggesting I have arrived at this or accomplished this. It's a work in progress for me. But there are 3 things that I plan to do in my 69th year. These 3 things. One is I want to work hard to stay kind and gentle. I want to work hard at that. I don't want to become a grouchy old man. I want to be aware and work really hard at that. Isaiah says in Isaiah 46:4, he says, even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. Even when my hair is gray or turning loose, not turning gray, it's turning loose. I want to remember that God is the God who has cared for me all along, and allow that to cause me to be a positive, gentle, kind, fun person to be with. I want to work hard to stay kind and gentle. The second thing is I want to decide to be a person of faith and hope, not to allow those negative experiences to cause me to doubt, not to allow those negative experiences to cause me to give up. I want to use those experiences to say, God has come through. God has worked for me. God is going to, and share that story. I want to decide in my old age. It's easy to be a person of faith when I'm young and vibrant and health is good. I want to decide in my old age to be a person of health. Psalm 71:18 said, let's see, got the wrong page. 71:18. Even when I am old and gray, do not forsake me, Lord, for I want to declare your power to the next generation. I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to say, God is good and he's been faithful. And yeah, sometimes things haven't worked out exactly the way I thought, but his plan has always been right. His plan has always been good. So I want to work hard at being kind and gentle. I want to decide to be a person of faith. And then here's the last thing. I want to be intentional about sharing what I have with others. I want to find ways to volunteer, to stay active, to be engaged, to use where God has me and what he's done, to use that. Not grow old and waste away. I want to burn out, not rust away. Someone says, I want to bounce my last check. I want to work hard. Here's the growing old verse that's best for me. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 16. Therefore, do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Listen, we're going to grow old. Whether we like it or not, we're going to grow old. I'm certainly finding that that's true. But we can get bitter, we can get grouchy, we can get useless, or we can say, I'm going to be kind and sweet and passionate and tell the story about Jesus. That's what I choose to do. And I hope on this Monday or Tuesday that you choose to do that as well. Thanks for being a part of this. And I'll see you next week.